Alright, I think I've got this thing pretty much well along, everything I need to do in order to get a checkout on it. We got the fusing in it, we got the connections to the power line hooked back in, everything else. The only thing that hasn't been done in this thing is I still got to take care of the push button attachments to the push button assembly to the chassis, and the connections to the tonal controls, but I don't think I'm going to need those connected up for checkout. The speaker hasn't been done anything with, so we're gonna take care of that once we get it checked out and tested and see if it's going to do anything. The antenna still needs to be refurbished. Haven't done anything with this. It's got a break right here in the back panel of this thing. It's going to have to be splinted and everything, and then I'm going to have to double check everything else on this thing and make sure it's up to snuff. But we're going to do a checkout on it first anyway and see if we can get anything on this radio. I've got all the tubes. I think I checked them. Pretty sure I checked them because some of these I had to pull tubes, a couple of tubes off the shelf. So we're ready for a checkout. I got the dim bulbs set up. They're ready to go. We're gonna turn that on and get it 122 volts being fed through the line. We're going to, this here's got 7 tubes. We're going to bring it up on two dim bulbs, and we're off there. I think we are in the AM mode. So let me get this chassis turned up, and the rest of the connections are made to things. I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully I can beat my battery before it goes dead in this phone. I forgot that I left it unplugged for the last few hours and been dinking around with it, and consequently it's getting low on power. So let me see. We are in the AM mode. I didn't bother putting a needle on it right now because it's just going to be a checkout. We got the off, on, tubes in, antenna hooked up, speaker hooked in, power supply is on and ready. Let's kick her on. Pull on the half amp, 280, 250, 240. She's going towards the basement. Say hello to Brandon. Okay. Let's see if we get anything else on here. And nothing. Okay, let's click this over into I got everything on, so we're going to have a buzzing sound for a while. Now we're on the shortwave 1 band. We're going to get a lot of interference. I still got my CFLs on, and my grow lights are still on in there, so that is pretty much going to be the norm. So now we're getting so much over 2, up here around 18. We're pulling 400 milliamps. Okay. Alrighty. We know that it is working on all bands. I'll have to bring up the radio later when I get the connections made to the push button assembly. I'm going to use quick connects on the thing, so it'll make it easier to uncork the assembly from the chassis, and to remove the chassis without having to take the entire assembly off and desolder it. And then this over here, of course, will be the standard hardwire connections into the paddle switches, and that can be easily negotiated later, if in case it ever needs to be removed from the cabinet. Okay, the major thing left is even though it performs, it's not performing at peak operating conditions. Now that I went in and did a search and destroy on all the wiring, all the wiring, all the caps, all the electrolytics, and all the connections to the IFs, to the chassis components, this thing is in a desperate need of realignment. And if you go in there and you do any changes to the wiring, anything else like that, to those specific front end components, you got to do a realignment. It might not take much, but it still needs to be done, because it won't have ears very well. So that's what we're going to get set up to do. I'm going to take care of that. Try to, if Doggy will let me. Still trying to deal with the cabinet to get it ready. Pretty much everything else is pretty much done on this thing, except for the alignment. So I'm going to take care of that, and then I'm going to go through after that and check all the voltages on all the 2 pins, and check out and see what temps the tubes are doing. So stay tuned, there will be more. I'll do a little segment on the speaker, and do a little segment on the antenna, and a segment on the tone wiring. So stay tuned, there'll be more coming. Alright, the speaker. We're going to go ahead and extract the cone out of it, and this buzzard egg off the thing, and get the spider exposed and the voice coil. And we're going to leave a little bit of the base of the cone, so we can attach to with the new cone. So let me get started on that, and we'll be back for more. Okay, we got the speaker taken off, the old cone taken loose, most of it, and got the basket cleaned up a little bit. There is the old portion of the cone and the surround gasket. And you know, my first thought when I first heard it, if you look back on the intro video, this is an egg. I don't know if these things get petrified over a period of time, but I mean, it was almost like an ostrich egg, except it's tiny, like a chicken egg. But once I started pecking away at it and it started cracking, I thought, hey, I've seen this before. I do it every time I boil my eggs, man. It is a chicken egg. Beat that. Jeez. Huh. Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is go over there to the shelf and select up one of my cones and see which one is the best fit. So stand by, there'll be more. Okay, there we go for the speaker cone. We got it all set back in. We took a little bit of the coneage out of it, and there's still a good portion of the old cone still left in the around the voice coil area to bond to. We're going to let this set overnight. I've used this this go-to glue to bond everything back in together. All that's left is a matter of cutting up a felt to use as a dust cap, and the speaker will be done. The basket's already been cleaned. All we got to do is seal it. I get my cones from a guy on eBay called Speaker Guy, something Speaker Guy, and some numbers. I can't remember the numbers offhand. And he has all kinds of different configurations with different depths and different diameters for the voice coil. And they work great. So and they're dirt cheap. You get a pair of these for, like, I think $6 or something like that. I don't remember if he offers free shipping, but the shipping is not more than $4 or $5 anyway. So so we got that done. So stay tuned. There'll be some more stuff coming at you when I get the when I get this outer panel for this antenna done. Then it's going to be a matter of placing them back in and then tightening up the all the windings for the outer loop and getting everything sandwiched back in. I've got a splint on the inside of the thing to splint everything back together, and then we'll be putting that back in. So stay tuned, there will be more.